Welcome to Discovering Salesforce, the Trust Session. To help with video streaming quality during this session, please log off a VPN, turn off your camera, and open the chat box to stay interactive with us. I'm Michelle Lindblom, a Security Awareness Manager here at Salesforce. During this interactive video session, we will discuss why trust is our number one value, top security-minded behaviors, how you can keep trust top of mind, and ways to engage with security. Let's get started. As I'm sure you've been hearing the last couple of days, trust is our number one value here at Salesforce. Nothing is more important than the trusted relationships we have with everyone, from our customers to our employees. We are all committed to one another at Salesforce, whether we are protecting our customers' data or empowering our people to voice their honest ideas, opinions, and feedback. A key component to trust is integrity. As you begin your journey here, we trust you to hold one another accountable for your work and your actions, and the trusted relationships within Salesforce will continue to grow. We know you've seen these before, but we wanted to briefly highlight them to set context for talking about trust and security. These are the core values of Salesforce. I want to highlight what's on the top of the list here. It's not customer success, as you might think, given Salesforce's rightfully earned reputation for world-class customer engagement. It's trust. We're a trust-first culture here at Salesforce, and in order for you all to contribute to Salesforce's continued success, I want you to put trust first in everything you do. We'll go into what that means a little bit later. Customer success. We place the customer at the center of everything we do. When our customers grow, we all grow. We share this laser focus on customer success to drive mutual growth and look forward to continuing to listen carefully, respond rapidly, and stay focused on delivering business value. Innovation. Thinking differently is in our DNA here at Salesforce. We've been rated one of the world's most innovative companies, and we know we'll continue that momentum with you. Equality. We respect and value people of all backgrounds. We are striving to create a more equal workplace and world every day. We're committed to hiring, supporting, and growing our people from across all backgrounds. We use our product, profit, and people to give back and make the world a more equitable place. In order to ensure trust, we are asking everyone to be a security-minded employee. Salesforce is made up of you and me. We can either be the strongest link in the chain of trust or the weakest. Being a security-minded employee is the best way to ensure you're one of the strongest links in the chain. Security mindfulness fosters sustained trust in our colleagues and our customers. At Salesforce, you're joining a culture where trust comes first and is taken very seriously. As a security-minded employee, you must be able to understand key security behaviors, know how to engage with the security team, view security as everyone's responsibility, and explain why security is the foundation of trust. So why is trust our number one value? It's the bedrock of our company, written in the DNA of Salesforce's culture, technology, and focus on customer success. No company better understands the importance of relationships than Salesforce, and at the core of every strong relationship is trust. Mark and our founders understood that to build a strong and thriving company, we had to hold trust above all other values. We ingrained that conviction in every Salesforce employee from day one. Like every good relationship, trust begins with being open and honest. At a time when others are concerned about speaking too loudly for fear of putting a target on their back, we are transparent about how we are keeping our customers' systems running and their data secure. We do this because we know that for many of our customers, security is a word that causes fear and anxiety. We empower businesses to demystify cybersecurity with real-time monitoring and user-friendly tools to protect their sensitive data. Trust and security are built into everything we do, from a world-class security team working across all products to common security controls across the entire platform. Our engineers build defense in depth into all of our systems, which is another way of saying we try to prevent a single point of failure through dozens of security tools, processes, and approaches to prevent, detect, and respond to any security threat. When a company signs with Salesforce, they gain a trusted digital advisor and true partner to share the responsibility of protecting customer data. We engage with our customers through events, community engagement, and Trailhead, our free online learning platform, to make them more confident in their own approach to security. We put the tools in place like Salesforce Security Command Center and Salesforce Health Check so that they can clearly and easily see how well they are applying all of the security best practices. And we use AI to make it easy for them to correct when something is falling short. We don't just build security into everything we do. We share our tools and our lessons learned with our ecosystem of customers and partners. We do this because we know that if we can all be better at keeping data private and secure, then we can all focus on innovation and growing stronger together. Security is everyone's responsibility at Salesforce, as it preserves the trust of our customers and the value of our products. So what makes Salesforce such an attractive target? Simply put, Salesforce stores customer data. Here's a small sample of the 200,000 plus customers we serve. They range from Fortune 500 companies to small nonprofits. What's the one thing all of our customers have in common? We store their data. It's one of their most valuable assets, and they're placing their trust in us to protect it all. When you see these brands, what kind of data would these companies be storing in Salesforce? This data could be sales prospects, contact lists, service records, personal medical records, marketing, analytics, and government data. We hold data for some of the largest companies in the world, and this makes Salesforce a very attractive target. We have access to extremely valuable information, such as credit cards, bank account, and social security numbers. The list goes on and on. Our customers trust Salesforce to maintain the best security practices and standards in the industry. Protecting account access is becoming more and more important, and we're doubling down to help customers adapt to a new reality while maintaining secure control over their systems and data. Why is this relevant to you? As a Salesforce employee, your access to data makes you a target. This means that you and everyone else at Salesforce is a target. You don't have to touch customer data to be a target. There are potentially thousands of entry points that an attacker can access to steal this information and sabotage our systems. You might wonder, I don't touch customer data, so what does this have to do with me? An example of this is the Target breach that occurred back in 2013. This breach led to over 40 million customer credit card numbers being compromised. The root of the breach was actually a contractor at Target who had a Target.com email address. He received a phishing email and opened it. This gave the attacker their initial entry point into the Target network, and that's all it took. Now let me ask you, how many of us have a Salesforce email address? That's right, all of us. I think you can see that we are all targets, no pun intended. And it's not just that you have a Salesforce email address, it's simply existing as a Salesforce employee that opens the window of opportunity for a bad actor. Now let's take a moment to answer this question. Okay, moving on to the importance of confidentiality here at Salesforce. The definition of confidential information may seem broad, so let's discuss it a little further. Specific pieces of publicly available information can still be confidential. For example, you can easily find the names of many of our customers with a quick internet search. However, specific information about customers, like whether they are top 10 or top 100 customers, or how many licenses they've purchased, is not publicly available. Without explicit customer permission, we cannot even share that they're our customer. Remember, just because you know certain information does not mean that you have the right to share it. How and when we disclose information to our customers, our vendors, and the world is carefully planned and approached. Premature disclosure of confidential information can disrupt business plans, and in some circumstances, it can lead to legal liability for Salesforce. Yes, we do have a strong culture for trust, which allows us to communicate honestly and transparently and empower one another. But being a part of Salesforce means you're privy to information you cannot share externally, and in many cases, internally. I'll quickly mention the quarterly confidentiality agreement. As mentioned, trust is at the center of everything we do at Salesforce, so we take the protection of our confidential company information very seriously. In order to ensure that our employees are regularly informed and reminded of their confidential obligations, we require every employee to acknowledge our confidentiality agreement on a quarterly basis. It's a quick and simple process. You will be prompted when logging into our single sign-on portal, Aloha, the day it's released. The security team is here to help you avoid mistakes and be more mindful. There are several ways to engage with us. You can go to the security tile on Aloha. This is a great place to find answers to common questions, a list of various trainings and courses, and so much more. You can post questions and find help on the security chatter group in Org62. You can send an email to asksecurity@salesforce.com for general inquiries. Or for any training and compliance questions, email securitytraining@salesforce.com. And join us on our Slack channel, Ask Security. Additionally, if you have any concerns about physical security, contact the Corporate Security Go Center. Their number is 1-650-653-4600. Please take a moment to add it to your phone. In certain circumstances, the security team may reach out to you seeking information about a security-related incident. If you receive an outreach from security, please ensure that you respond to your best ability within 24 hours. Depending on the issue, failure to respond may lead to your account access being revoked or blocked. Emails from security will look like this. If you have any doubts about an email or communication, please send your questions to security@salesforce.com. Let's dive into our key security-minded behaviors that are crucial to adopt in order to keep yourself, your coworkers, and our customers secure. If there's anything you take away from today, it's these 5 key behaviors. The first is see something, say something. So much of being more secure is simple. Pay attention to what you are doing and your surroundings, both in the digital and physical spaces you inhabit. The choices that you make could not only affect your security, but the security of your coworkers and our customers. If something feels wrong to you, the best thing to do is report it. You can do this by emailing security@salesforce.com. Let's take a moment to talk about social engineering. Social engineering is the umbrella term for a variety of tactics used to access otherwise blocked information. Social engineering tactics often underpin cyber attacks. The term refers to manipulating people to get them to do something, taking advantage of the human element. When it comes to security, it means manipulating people to gain access to data, computer systems, or physical spaces. This can happen in person, over the phone, or on the internet through email or social networking sites. Many of you are on LinkedIn. That's great. Think about how many times you got a connection request from someone you didn't know. Okay, think about how many times you went ahead and accepted that request. Don't be sheepish. We've all done it. Now that this stranger has access to your profile, they can not only see your entire work history, but they can also piece together your management chain based on your connections. And then they can take it even further and use the information to send you a phishing email from what you think is your boss's assistant, but really a bad actor. By accepting the stranger's request, you've exposed yourself to a would-be attacker. Enough people fall for these tactics to make them worthwhile for attackers, especially since the return on a relatively low investment can be so high. Social engineering attempts are extremely common. Almost everyone has encountered them in one form or another. From call center or tax scam phone calls to antivirus or federal student loan forgiveness calls. Most people ignore them, but it only takes one success out of thousands of attempts to cause a breach. Of course, we can't expect you to catch everything. However, think about what you can do. You can choose to be more mindful of the risk. Even if you feel like you fell for the scam, reporting it protects others by making us aware of it. That's why it's very important to report anything out of the ordinary. The second key security behavior is don't get fooled by phishing. I'm sure most of you are familiar with phishing. It's been one of the most popular and lucrative forms of social engineering for many years. While email is the most common delivery method, text message and phone calls are becoming increasingly more common. Phishing attempts are always getting more and more sophisticated and harder to recognize. As a result, we are becoming more vulnerable as a company. The majority of phishing attacks fall into two categories: data entry and implanting malware on your device. Data entry phishing attacks fool you into giving up sensitive information such as your email, password, social security number, credit cards, or other valuable details. Malware email attacks will either be delivered with an attachment and an urgent message requesting to open it, or it can contain a link that will start an automatic download of malware once you click it. So what should you do if you receive a suspicious email? Surprise, surprise, forward it to security@salesforce.com. Also, please don't click on any links or open any attachments. If you did accidentally click, that's okay. Be sure to report it immediately to security@salesforce.com. You will not only help prevent others from clicking on this effective scam, but the security team will be able to quickly help you. On the other side of this email address is our STAR team, whose primary job is to escalate potential threats to the CSIRT team. They are waiting to hear from you, so don't hesitate to forward anything suspicious. You'll usually get a response within a few minutes. Let me walk you through a real example of a phishing attack that occurred at Salesforce. Employees received an email stating a Google Doc was shared with them. This email contained a malicious link with a prompt to allow Google account access. If clicked, the users allowed the attacker access to their contact list and email addresses. The attacker would then send the same phishing email to all of the users' contacts, quickly spreading the attack. Google responded quickly to stop the spread, and thankfully, CSIRT ensured no one else was at risk. We don't only see phishing in the context of email. Phone calls are a common method for attackers to reach out to you with an urgent message. This is known as vishing. Attackers may also send you a text message containing a malicious link or video. This is known as smishing. The message may come from a random phone number, or they may come from a messaging app from compromised accounts of people in your contacts or social networks. The attacker may even attempt to have you communicate with them through an encrypted texting platform such as WhatsApp, Signal, or Telegram. Both of these methods are harder for security teams to track the attacker's true identity. Please notify security@salesforce.com if you suspect that you've received any of these messages. The third security behavior is create unique passwords. I'm sure many of you find it difficult to remember all of your passwords. And how many of us have reused a password for multiple accounts? I know I've been guilty of that. Here's why I changed my behavior. A big risk of password reuse is something called credential stuffing. This is a situation where stolen account credentials, typically lists of usernames, emails, and passwords from a data breach, are used to fraudulently gain access to user accounts. Attackers go through hundreds of popular sites and test if the email and password combos they have will allow them to log in. This tactic can result in your email, social media, credit card, or bank account being compromised, or even your identity being stolen. So what are some tips to prevent this? The easiest and most secure habit you can adopt is the consistent use of a password manager. At Salesforce, every employee has a license to install LastPass. You will receive an email to set up your LastPass account. If you don't receive this email, please open a ticket through Concierge. LastPass is a service that securely stores all of your unique passwords, so you only need to remember a single master password. LastPass will help you create unique, complex passwords that are personal to each account. Please use the auto-generate feature for your new passwords. Never use the same password more than once. Your passwords are stored in an encrypted vault that only you will have access to. If you're an engineer, it's even more important to use a proper secret storage solution. Secrets should never be stored in code. Salesforce has approved systems for secrets management. We also have an agreement with LastPass so that you can create a personal vault in addition to your work vault. This means you can use LastPass to store passwords for both your work and your personal accounts. And don't forget, you can use LastPass on your phone too. LastPass has a mobile app, so please install and use that as well. The other critical component of this is enabling multi-factor authentication, or MFA. It is also commonly called 2FA, two-factor authentication. Again, most of you are likely familiar with this, but it adds an extra layer of protection when logging into your accounts. SMS codes, authenticator apps, and YubiKeys are all the most common MFA methods. Salesforce forces the use of MFA for key things like VPN access and single sign-on. But I would encourage you to enable this wherever you can in your personal life, such as bank accounts and social media. It's worth it to audit the accounts and services you use frequently and make sure you've enabled MFA on all the accounts that offer it. Even if it's only via text message, which is the least secure method, it's still better than no MFA at all. The fourth security behavior is lock before you walk. With success from anywhere, we all must take care to protect Salesforce's data and assets. When you work from home, you likely have other people in your working environment who can see your screen, such as roommates, significant others, and kids. Even if it's unintentional, it's important to keep all Salesforce business confidential. It's easy to get caught up in work. Please be aware of your surroundings when talking about something sensitive or having sensitive information on your screen. It's important to build the muscle memory of locking your screen every time you leave your computer, even if you live alone. This way it'll be a reflex and you won't have to remember to do it when you're around others. Lock it anytime you get up from your desk, even if you're just going to the printer or grabbing a quick snack. This also applies to your mobile devices. Make sure you have a passcode or biometric check enabled on your phone. And be sure to adjust the settings so that the content of the text messages aren't being displayed on the lock screen. Also, if it didn't come in the mail with your laptop, you can log a ticket for a privacy screen on Concierge. The fifth security behavior is say no to badge surfing. Badge surfing, or tailgating, is the act of following someone into a secured area after they badged in or convinced them to hold the door even though you haven't badged in. It's often the most simple trick that manipulates our sense of decency and politeness. To combat this risk, we all must agree on the following: carrying our badges at all times when on Salesforce property, keeping our badges visible, reporting badge surfing when it happens, and agreeing that we don't expect anyone to let us slip by. Give people permission to challenge us if we aren't carrying badges. They are keeping all of us more secure and ensuring trust. As we head back into the office, please pay particular attention to communications about how we will be entering Salesforce properties and following all guidance. Consider this: following proper procedures and policies decrease security risk, even if they don't seem to directly relate to the security team. This slide has some examples of key policies that protect Salesforce employees and customer data. When in doubt, check the policies and stick to them. Understand what applies to your role and what you have access to. Metric Stream on our single sign-on portal, Aloha, is a great place to find this information. Following proper policies and best practices relates directly to being a security-minded employee. Whichever cloud or team you're working under, there are policies and procedures in place to minimize risk. Many of these are legal requirements, and Salesforce could face serious consequences if they are not followed. Often when we move fast, we can be more prone to making mistakes. We can be careless with how we use our accounts and how we handle proprietary information. Prioritizing trust and keeping that value top of mind will guide your actions when you find yourself in a hurry and jumping from meeting to meeting, under pressure to release the product or feature on time, not reviewing policies and standards, or excited about your work and want to share with our colleagues and friends. On this slide, you see some of the potential outcomes of not prioritizing trust. These situations increase risk to Salesforce and our customers. Take a minute to absorb them. Have you found yourself ever doing something similar? During these busy times, it's even more critical that we go slow in order to go fast. This means you need to be extra careful when sharing information with customers or partners. Make sure you're up to date on the policies and standards that apply to your work, and use unique, strong passwords for each of your accounts. Again, we have LastPass to help you do this. Let's do a quick recap. Why is Salesforce a target? We store customer data. Why do you need to be concerned? We are all targets because we work here and have access to this data. What can you do as an employee to be more secure? Remember those 5 key security behaviors. See something, say something. Don't get fooled by phishing. Create unique passwords. Lock before you walk. And say no to badge surfing. And as a reminder, you can reach out to the security team for help by going to the security tile on Aloha, posting questions on our security chatter group in Org62, sending an email to asksecurity@salesforce.com for general inquiries, or securitytraining@salesforce.com for any training or compliance questions. Or you can use our Slack channel, Ask Security. Thank you for your participation and learning about how you can be a security-minded employee.